Grand Rising, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is going to be my third installment for Sean Puffy Combs' Deactivation season. This reading is going to be a spiritual tap-in on the energy surrounding the settlement. I wanted to give it a little time because he settled extremely fast. And I've already been meditating in the spirit. And from what I can see, when I said Cassie was going to wear him out in court, see, it wasn't just about the accusations for what he's done to her. It came to me in that deposition and in information that was released. She gave breadcrumbs. She let off a dog whistle. For the mass majority, it went over people's heads. But it definitely hit the target. It hit the mark that it was supposed to. A lot of people are upset because they said, well, why did she just take the money? She should have went to court and proved what he did to her. I want you to understand energetically and spiritually, she laid the groundwork for something so much bigger. She literally lined up the perfect play for the quiet storm. And that's the energy that I want to tap into around the settlement. Show me the energy around why Puffy, Diddy, now known as Brother Love, raced to settle so early. Okay, so the Ace of Cups isn't just a card about love, it's a card about abundance. Okay, and you see this bird. This bird is a peace dove. Okay, peace doves are one of the most revered birds in the Bible next to the sparrow attached to God. But peace doves are released when a soul is released into the ethers. This is a very big clue to the breadcrumbs that Cassie had laced into her lawsuit. The claims she made were attached to this peace dove. Wow, let's see. Ace of Wands. This is forward movement and expansion. Anytime you see fire cards, because wands are fire cards, we're talking about aggressive movement, okay? All veiled under the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. See, she allowed her story to be the catalyst for those breadcrumbs. But I feel like those breadcrumbs just, they didn't just lead back to a loaf of bread. They led back to the bakery. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is being covert, being sneaky. See, I told you, her lawsuit, this is actually ingenious. This was the overlay for the underplay. She used her story, which definitely was true, because she had enough evidence to prove what she had been through. But she used her story, her experience, as the mile markers to the breadcrumbs. If you can catch what I'm laying down. Seven of Pentacles. As you sow, so shall you reap. This was so much bigger than her getting her payback, okay? Because she definitely got her lick back in the form of a financial payment. She sowed seeds that were going to grow into a major harvest. See, one seed planted into the ground can turn into a plant. That plant turns into a tree, and then that tree starts to bear fruit. This is what she did when she placed everything into this lawsuit and made it a public record. Cassie is way smarter than he expected. And whoever advised her is literally a methodical genius, because this case is a Trojan horse. This lawsuit, rather, is a Trojan horse. It literally is the catalyst, the vehicle for a much larger case. And that case is being built. Now, I don't know how many of you saw when TMZ launched their story, and they said that the NYPD Blue had launched an investigation, and this investigation was sealed. It was a secret investigation, and they could not say for sure if this was pertaining to Cassie, but they could not say that it excluded her. The reason why they couldn't say that, allegedly, is because it was a chance that her story was just one branch on the tree. And possibly not even a full branch, more like, a switch. The one, grandma tell you go outside and get when she needs to get you together. See, it didn't appear to be a dog whistle to the public. It was disgusting. It was deplorable. People could not believe what they were reading. But that was the spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. See, she came in swiftly with this message. And as you can see, she has a sword that's almost like Excalibur. And you've got all of these dull swords down here. Okay? Now, any other time, these swords would have come before her and slayed her. But remember what I said. She's got Excalibur. Excalibur is the breadcrumbs that were laced throughout the deposition. And because of that, this is how she was able to get that balance through a new beginning. Pay attention. You see this cup from up above? It's in the reverse. This cup below, That's an unnatural stream, okay? How often do you see things flow instead of just falling straight down this way? That's the energy behind the settlement. See, she forced his hand. He had no choice. This was way bigger than money. She just happened to get money out of it. Now here it is. This is her coming in with Excalibur. And this falls under the Ace of Cups, which is the card of love and abundance. Remember I said that you got the peace dove here that is connected to this love card. And then here she comes underneath, right? Delivering a message about this relationship, this love relationship. But remember, I told you guys, she used the relationship and the alleged abuse in the relationship to expose the breadcrumb, this peace dove, the symbol of God, also the symbol in the spirit world that takes souls from this world into the ether. Ace of Wands with the Queen of Swords. See, the Queen of Swords is a very, very intelligent queen. But she's also a queen that goes off into battle. This is a queen that does not deal with emotion. She deals with logic. This is a queen that can also organize the queen's men and send them in to battle. See, she got in and out. Knight of Wands is here for the short time, not the long time. She got in and out. But that's all she needed to do to plant these seeds. People are going to see later on down the line how these seeds grow into a plant that grows into a tree that eventually bears fruit. I'm actually just astonished because this was ingenious. This was one of the most intelligent Trojan horses ever known to the media and law enforcement. Ten of Wands. See, this put the weight of the world on Puff's back. This falls under the Ace of Wands. Forward movement and expansion, aggressive, moving fast, coming in, whether you like it or not. I'm channeling big, kick in the door, wave in the 4-4. All I heard was Puff, don't hit me no more. So she used the abuse, the alleged abuse. And see, it appears that this is what put the weight of the world on his shoulders. But it was way deeper than that. This is way deeper than love, way deeper than rap. But if the cards are played right, it can lead to a rap sheet. Told y'all, in and out like a thief in the night. She never intended on going the distance. She knew she didn't have to. Knight of Wands falls under excuse me, Knight of Wands falls under the Nine of Wands, which is the wounded warrior. So like I said, she came in swiftly under the guise of, I'm going to talk about what you did to me. She has support. She has witnesses. She had people that were going to go to court to support everything that she was saying. I'm not alleging that she's making up what happened to her. All I'm saying is she used it for a bigger agenda, a bigger plan. I told y'all in that last reading between Diddy and Cassie that she may not have learned how to physically fight him, but she learned how to fight. She finally had enough. And now she's throwing the punches. And he doesn't know how to fight back. He didn't expect this. Okay? You got the devil here. So she showed how, Seven of Swords over the devil, how he used a lot of maneuvers, a lot of sneaky tactics, a lot of underhanded ways of operating to tie her to him, which tied him to a legal accusation of trafficking. But for every date and situation she gave, those situations bore witness to other things in the timeline. I'm really in awe at how ingenious this was. Because every time she was able to show something that happened to her allegedly, it lined up with something that happened to someone else. And not only did her proof prove what happened to her, it was a breadcrumb to something that happened to someone else, allegedly. Six of Swords. Moving on from a very toxic, negative situation into calmer waters after she sowed these seeds, after she allowed him to see that what goes around comes around. She really hit him where it hurt. This brought heartbreak because once again, you got the Temperance angel here. Temperance means balance through a new beginning. What goes up must come down. And what goes down eventually in conversation will come up. Now you see, this is how that temperance ended up. Remember, what goes up must come down. She's not the only one that's going to end up in the Ten of Pentacles if people pay attention to the way she lined this up. What she did brought hope. And not only did it just bring hope, it brought a bargaining chip to the table for other people to have contracts, negotiations, and agreements. People now can come to the table that would have never even been allowed in the room. And this is where the heartbreak lies. Because allegedly, Puff knows in his heart of our hearts, this is only the beginning. It's a possibility that he needs to brace himself. Remember I told y'all about hope? Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. Under the Knight of Wands, in and out. This is like, the story of the three wise men. When they needed to find their way, they followed the North Star. What she did was expose the map to the North Star. She set a precedence. And that precedence, by her legally putting things on the record and things being released through the media, even with everything being sealed, because it was released to the media, and the media was able to go get a copy of all of the dockets, and it happened so swiftly. Everybody who's anybody possibly has a copy of what was released. So you can seal it all you want, but it doesn't matter because people have the pieces that they need. And it can be used later at a later date. Page of Pentacles. So this is like, remember I told you the breadcrumbs? This was her coming in with this small offer, but it was laced with breadcrumbs. The Trojan horse, like I told y'all, Seven of Swords, the cunning, manipulative, covert action. She pulled something on him that was revolutionary that he didn't even expect. This is something that, you would think of someone with his status, someone with his resources. You would think that this type of maneuver would have come from his side. Because this is someone who could have tied this up for years until she just didn't have the money to go to court. But see, he knew that what she produced, allegedly, when she turned in those 35 pages, that 35-page deposition to request to take him to court, that was only a small percentage of what she had. He didn't want to test how much she had in the arsenal because she gave him enough to know that if he did take this full throttle, no matter what, no matter how this ended, he was ruined. Guys, this was way, way bigger than abuse and trafficking due to her being hurt and, sent places all across the United States and all across the world. This was really a well thought out plan. And they came up with this very swiftly. because the law had just been amended in New York for SA victims. This is relatively new. This goes back to the title of my last video on this subject, deactivation season, strike while the iron is hot. They literally came in swiftly and they struck while the iron is hot. I was completely amazed when I got to meditating and I got to, just talking to my angels about the direction that I should go with this, because I knew that if she took him to court, that she was going to literally ruin him. I saw the energy, but I never expected him to fold that fast. I don't even think it was a full 24 hours. I don't even know if anybody got to really sleep on it. Angels and spirit guides, show me the energy around now that the settlement is done. What is the aftermath? Let me clear the energy. Should have brought me some water in here because my throat is getting really dry. I don't know if any of you have noticed or have seen, but very high-end celebrities, very powerful people, are publicly disassociating themselves with Puffy. Within the last 24 hours, Janet Jackson and Naomi Campbell have completely removed him from their social media and showed that they no longer support him. And the list is getting longer and longer. Alrighty. I'm not going to stay too long in this energy because his energy can be draining at times, and I want to knock out a few other readings tonight. Show me the aftermath now that the seeds are planted. I told y'all she came in, didn't see us coming. Excalibur. This message that brought heartbreak put the weight of the world on his shoulders. Hierophant. This is major because the Hierophant represents multiple things. When you're doing an industry reading, the Hierophant is the highest of authority behind the scenes, the people that actually own the industry. Okay? The hidden counsels, the people that you don't see. This also represents law enforcement. And at the highest, the Most High himself, God himself. So this man is in a catch-22. And it's literally like being triangulated. God has stepped into the room. The highest of authority behind the scenes in the industry are now calling judgment, and this is also the highest judges and juries in the land. Let's tap into that Hierophant energy. The Chariot is usually, if you're asking a yes or no question, this is a yes. Also forward movement. And the Artist. Okay? So this is Artist moving away from him, because notice the Artist come first, and then here it is, the Chariot. Artists are separating themselves. They're moving away from him. Also, artists that he has worked with in the past, they are literally coming in on that, whatever the fastest thing smoking is, because everybody is trying to figure out what they need to do to have a judgment. Everybody is considering, see, making a decision. Everybody's considering how they also can cash in and allegedly have their day in court. See, I told y'all bombshells. That last reading when I told y'all bombshells. Things are going to start coming out left and right. Everybody's not going to be successful, but enough people are. And every last one of those people, whether they know it or not, they're going to add on to those breadcrumbs, and they're going to plant seeds that are going to help that tree grow to bear fruit. Look at that, the Hierophant. Hierophant falling under the Knight of Swords. And it's a tower. This tower falls under the Three of Swords, heartbreak. Let me adjust this because I want y'all to be able to see what's on the table. There we go. Remember, I just asked for my spirit guides to explain this Hierophant. Hierophant, the tower. The tower connects to heartbreak. The heartbreak is connected to people rushing in with messages. And those messages are also connected back to the Hierophant. There's going to be more and more and more to come that is going to come out. And it's going to have the weight of the world on Puffy's back. This beautiful woman, this sought after woman, took action. The Queen of Wands. This is the Queen of Action. And that action put the weight of the world on his back. The Ten of Wands. Now this artist is the King of Pentacles. Now she's the one operating in masculine energy. I told y'all, Cassie finally learned how to fight. Five of Wands. Page of Pentacles. See, those breadcrumbs, instantly he had to buckle. He came in, he had to apologize. Page of Pentacles. King of Swords. She was coming with that heat. See, she was tapping into masculine energy. Ain't that about nothing? Cassie got him where she wanted him. When she hit him with that paperwork, she hit him with that take that, take that. And he knew that she could back up everything she was saying, because the King of Swords deals in logic and truth when he's in the upright. So, bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. This was like the ultimate betrayal. He could not believe that she had come up with a plan this devious yet well thought out and almost perfectly executed, if you ask me, because it was so unexpected. He had no way of preparing himself. There was no media blitz that he could put together in the time that he needed to put it together, because the information went around the world, literally around the world, in a matter of minutes. There was no spin. There was no group of publicists that could work that hard and that fast. By the time they would have came up with something, more bombshells would have come out. And when I say bombshells, we're talking about like nuclear. He could not afford to have a Harvey Weinstein or Epstein moment, allegedly. Let's remember, those men are billionaires. Those men were able to run smear campaigns against potential victims and had the public second guessing these people until it went to a court of law. From what it looks like to me, allegedly, he was advised to not even allow this to get to a court of law, because even those men fell on the long blade of the law and they met their end. So to spare himself, he bought himself all the freedom he could afford. Well, I mean, that's for now. But this has been my reading on Sean Puffy Combs, Deactivation Season Part 3, The Settlement. I thank you for all of your support and your viewership. And as I said before, I'm going to continue to go down this rabbit hole with Puffy. And I don't know how many videos this is going to take, because there is so much information. But I thank you for your support, and I thank you for your viewership. And if I don't post around the holiday, happy holidays in advance, and much love to all of you. This reading is adjourned. Good night, y'all.